Fox 40's Eric Rucker now shows us how local law enforcement is helping little Jack get a new uniform.
For most of us, today is just another weekday in December. For 5-year-old Jack,
I'm sure he'll probably remember this day forever.
It's one of the greatest days of his young life.
You want to take a look around the police department for a few minutes?
Jack wants to be a cop when he grows up. He already enforces the rules of the road.
Daddy's a really fast driver, huh?
No, you're not.
What?
I think I'll call you Turtle from now on.
At the Roseville police station, Jack takes a smile-inducing tour, even getting to watch officers train with their weapons.
That's Officer Wanamaker here. It's going to happen again.
Not that he needs any tips.
Pretty cool.
Watch this.
Okay. Yeah? What?
The best, though, was yet to come. Officer Jack
Wait, Mike, come see this.
also received his own squad car.
Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air and drop your weapon.
Jack's joy on this day is undeniable, but it comes after a very sad year. Jack's family moved to Paradise to be closer to his ailing aunt and grandmother, both of whom recently passed away.
Jack was very, very close with my mom.
Then, the campfire hit, damaging their home and destroying his police uniform his mom says that he wore nearly every day.
Pretty cool, huh?
A short time later, Rockland police got him this new law enforcement getup. Around that same time, April Marskell heard Jack's story.
He just melted my heart. You know, he was such an innocent little boy.
Marskell's 2 children then used their allowance money to buy Officer Jack's new ride.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry again. That was special. I mean, we really put a smile on his face today, and that's all I wanted.
Happiness for a little kid that any mother would dream of.
It's really emotional. It's really, sorry. It's nice to see him so happy.
In Roseville, I'm Eric Rucker, Fox 40 News.
That is amazing, and his laugh is contagious, too.
Tonight, what we heard is one story, incredible survival story of a group of people, hospital workers, family members, and firefighters all coming together to help survive.
6-day-old Hallie is the last baby born at Feather River Hospital. Just moments after she arrived, the campfire began to surround the building.
It came over the speaker, evacuate the hospital, all patients need to be moved.
I went to my patients' rooms and I said, just grab your baby, we gotta go, just grab your baby, there's no time.
In the scramble to evacuate, Hallie's mother, Heather, had been separated from her child, put into an ambulance and driven away. Her ambulance made it about half a mile before it began to literally melt in the flames. Her C-section surgery left her lower half of her body numb. She couldn't move and made what she thought would be her last phone call.
I said goodbye to my husband and just told him to tell our kids that I love them and that I was sorry. I was sorry I wouldn't be there. Wow. It was very, very hard.
And I heard the ambulance in front of us is on fire.
Nurse Tamara Ferguson was in an ambulance behind Heather's, making the same last phone call to her family.
They kept telling me, like, no, you're going to be fine, and I kept trying to convince them, no, you don't understand. I'm not going to be fine. There's no way I'm going to survive this. There's fire blowing at me.
As the fire was consuming homes all around them, a stranger helped Heather get out of her ambulance and wheeled her up this driveway on Chloe Court. Nurse Tamara followed. Eventually, they ran into David Hawks, Paradise's fire chief.
There's a dog door here that one of the paramedics made access to. We unlocked the garage, moved patients into this home, and sheltered them in place. I said, hey, if you follow the directions, which is to clear this home of pine needles, that we would be safe here.
What happened next was nothing short of amazing. EMTs and nurses became stand-in firefighters. Some getting on the roof of this home, clearing gutters of brush, hosing down the outer edge of the property, saving this home, all while their patients were kept safe inside.
And he said, you do this, you do this, you do this. And all of us shifted our minds to what do we need to do for survival mode here.
They followed directions. They did exactly what I asked them to do.
Amid a neighborhood devastated by the campfire, this Chloe Court home survived. So did all of the patients and medical staff inside.
I am so happy that my home was spared so that their lives could be spared. That was that home's purpose, was to save those people.
Desiree Borden owns this home with her husband. Not long before it was used to save lives of people she'd never met, she was fleeing from it with her 17-month-old daughter in the car.
I was singing nursery rhymes to her, trying to keep her calm, although she was very calm. I don't know if I was singing the nursery rhymes for her or for me. I just knew that our story couldn't end that way. We couldn't burn alive in a car.
It wasn't until one of the nurses sent Desiree a Facebook message that she learned her home was still standing. She'd assumed, like her neighbors' homes, it was gone. Now, these people, all strangers a few days ago, forever bonded through one common story of survival.
We're all here. We're able to talk about this, and it's absolutely extraordinary.
It's humbling to know that your life was spared when so many aren't and so many are unaccounted for.
All right, here we go.
The football field is Coach Andy Hamill's second home. It's an escape from what happened to his first home.
It came up through here so fast.
The Mendocino Complex Fires destroyed his parents' house in Lake County. He was there the day they got evacuated.
We could see the fire, about 30-foot flames coming up over the ridge. We had the fire department driving up, and basically he pulled up to us and said, "Hey guys, you need to get out of here right now."
Hamill says the house sat right between the river and ranch fires. They got out safely with some pictures, but now have to start from scratch.
Do you go look at manufactured homes? Do you rebuild your house? Where's the money going to come from? So it's all a little bit stressful for them.
What's worse, this isn't the first time the family has dealt with this. Hamill says part of the same house burned down 25 years ago.
It was when I was 17 and I helped the contractor build it back up. So it was an interesting experience. Hustle, let's go, come on.
Hamill made his way from that home in Lake County to West Sacramento years ago. He's now a well-known and well-liked youth football coach.
They have big hearts, they're generous people. They open their home up to people who need it. They put their own money into the youth program, and they really don't ask anything in return.
But good friend Kathleen Lancaster is asking for something.
We've been recipients of his generosity, hundreds of times over, so it was time for us to help.
Fundraising efforts have already raised more than $1,000 for Hamill's parents. Lancaster hopes to raise more, but this coach appreciates his community no matter what.
We're all one big family, and you really feel it when something like this happens.
It's been very stressful for everyone here.
RJ Darden shared with us she is pregnant with triplets.
So I'm naming them after the fires. I'm going to name them Pawnee, River, and Ranch.
And she just lost her home in the Mendocino Complex Fire.
These fires don't stop. They won't stop.
RJ found shelter with hundreds of other evacuees at the Red Cross shelter at Lower Lake High School, and she's thankful for it. But Monday and Tuesday were rough as Norovirus spread among evacuees.
You're in the same room with all these people that are sick, and then you're trying to stay away from it. That's almost impossible.
Norovirus can spread easily among people in close quarters. It causes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and symptoms typically last 1 to 3 days. Eva Freeman is the shelter nurse.
If it's on your hands and you touch something, then someone else could get it. If your hands are clean, it should be safe for everyone.
We have very little illness at this point.
Shelter manager Stephanie Charles explains staff members and volunteers took immediate action.
One was to take anybody who was sick and isolate them away from the well people so that it wouldn't spread. The other thing is the best defense against norovirus is hand washing. And so we put up signs everywhere. We started monitoring the food line and telling everybody when they got in the food line, please go wash your hands. We went around and talked to people about hand washing.
Due to medical privacy, we don't know the number of people who got sick. Some were hospitalized. A cleaning crew was diligently disinfecting the entire shelter on this Wednesday afternoon, and several evacuation orders have been lifted, so there are only a few dozen people still staying here. Under the circumstances, evacuees we spoke with were very understanding.
I appreciate all the help that I've gotten here so far.
They did really good here.
These are resilient people, having been evacuated a number of times before. With their immediate needs taken care of, RJ and her fellow evacuees now turn their attention to a new chapter.
We're all talking about moving. We've had enough.
But now Helen Owen is opening her property to animals displaced by the Mendocino Complex Fire.
Yeah, if you see it, you can think of it as Noah's Ark with dozens of animals there being cared for. Fox 40 photojournalist Rachelle Riley met up with Owen at her ranch and at her rodeo today.
We started evacuating animals and taking in animals, several years ago. This year we joined forces with NorCal Livestock Evacuation.
It's very rewarding because if I was in a situation where I couldn't get my animals out, I would hope and pray that there was somebody out there to help me get mine.
We rescued dogs that had their paws burnt pretty much off, cats, we did everything. We didn't discriminate. We even took in goldfish for the first time ever. It makes us really happy that we can get in there and get some of these animals out. We certainly know what it's like.
We lost 23 goats and a dog in the Valley Fire. Yeah, we've been there, we've gone through it, so anything we can do to help others.
Okay, and what's the location? We have a few competitors here tonight that just picked up their horses from our place.
Well, I missed her very, very much.
She's happy. She hasn't got off her yet. They were happy to see her too, you could tell.
It gives people relief to have their animals there with them. I know it's given our family some comfort.